What is up, Retro Maniacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And I'm joined by two men that combined only received 4 fewer votes than Scott Spalding in the YouTube Hall of Fame vote for 2024. They are your friends and mine, Joe Day and EP Eric Kahalik. How you doing, guys?
We were not eligible. So congratulations, Scott, for getting votes, but we were not eligible. So come next year, we're going to take it really serious. No, we're not. Chris Sewell didn't get in. Okay, I understand Sports Card Dad. Maybe, he rubs people the wrong way in that whole cabal they have going on there. How in the world does Chris Sewell not get in? Like, come on. Come on.
I'm going to interject here because I told you guys I may have a little mini rant.
Oh, is this what the rant was about?
This is what the rant is.
Okay, make it a mini rant because
it's a mini rant, just a mini rant.
All
I'm not trying to call anybody out or anything or yuck anybody else's yum, as EP likes to say. But anything that calls itself the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame that doesn't have Chris Sewell in it is a joke. It's not a Hall of Fame. It's a little collectors club of certain type of videos from certain types of collectors. I looked at the pages and watched some of the videos of the people that got in this year, and it's all the same. Some of these people have other videos that aren't even related to cards, like more of those on there than they have card videos. Chris Sewell, I feel like it's an intentional thing just because he's a big channel. So call yourself the YouTube small channel club, because Chris Sewell does so much for this hobby with the information he puts out there that if he's not even really, he got a decent number of votes, but he was nowhere near the cutoff. That to me is a joke. I'm sorry. Yeah. Everybody can have their own opinion on it, but this is my opinion. I feel like he's just intentionally kept out because he's a big channel, and the people that like to do their PBS style vintage videos don't want him in it, and that's fine, but don't call yourself the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame, because you're really not. He has done more for people that like to watch content. I'll tell you what, if I'm picking content, I'm picking his over most of the people that are in the Hall of Fame, because it's more entertaining. They're doing a certain kind of video. There are certain kind of channels, and they all seem to vote for each other. That's fine, but that's not me. I don't care about it. I don't want to be in it. I'm not, again, it's fine to have it. You do your own thing. Those people can be interested in what they want to. The people who watch that can watch it what they want to, but that's not what I care about. And just, you can't call yourself a Hall of Fame without having somebody who is so incredibly knowledgeable and does so much content and has educated so many collectors with their videos. You can't not let him in. And that's the end of my rant.
It's like now putting Barry Bonds in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I guess.
I guess
seriously, wait. Are you accusing Chris Sewell of using performance-enhancing drugs?
Steroids. What would PEDs be in YouTube? That's
buying subscribers, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah.
As a quick aside, I agree with Mike 100%. But congrats, Scott, and getting recognition. That's awesome.
And the funny thing about this too was when I was coming up with that intro, I knew EP's reaction would be thanking Scott, and I knew Joe's reaction would be, well, we weren't even on the ballot. I'm just saying, I know you guys so well.
Well, you gotta be honest with the people. EP's fine with being flowery and glass half full. I'm just straight up facts, man. I'm all about the facts. We weren't eligible. We're definitely not going to be eligible after that little rant. No. But I will say this:
nor should we be.
Mike said, "I have a little rant at the top. We might get canceled after it," kind of joking around, and he didn't tell us what it was. And then when he did the intro, I thought, "Yeah, speaking of that, we haven't talked about this. How ridiculous is this?" So I almost stepped on his rant a little bit, but I gotta agree, man. Chris Sewell is the best content creator for sports cards. Period.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
End of sentence. if you got into this hobby, you went one of two directions. I think you either started watching the Jeff Wilson type of stuff. Oh, I need to invest. I need to make money. I need to do this. Or you went to Chris Sewell. I want to learn about cards. I want to see what's going on with cards. It's two very different worlds, but the popular channels, for some reason, because they're popular, it's like not putting superhero movies in the Academy Awards. They think they're we can't put those movies that everyone went to and loved into the category. We need to put an artsy movie in there, 10 artsy movies that 50 people have seen. Like, I don't know. It's kind of silly. And I did look at the winners, and congratulations to the winners. Hey, pat yourselves on the back. You're in. I went to their videos and I'm like, I'm not going to subscribe to any of these. I don't find them entertaining. I don't.
Not for us, and their thing, and that's fine. And
that's their thing.
There is a group of people that like that kind of stuff, and that's fine. I'm not saying, like, I'm sure there may be some people watching us now that are screaming and yelling at me because you have a right to do that. I have a difference of opinion, but yeah, I mean, but still, I don't know under what, like, why you would not have Chris Sewell in the like he should have been in before. I said that last week. How is he not in there? Like, just because he's a big channel? Like, if you have this and these people are not voting for him just because his channel's big, that makes it a joke. Like, it's like he doesn't do the same kind of videos, but he does videos that educate. Just like a lot of their videos are talking about older sets and stuff like that, and people can go to it and learn stuff about it. But like, just because he has more and is educating more people doesn't make that a bad thing. It's not like he's sports card investor. Like, I totally get like not wanting those kind of channels in your little thing there, but I don't. I've said no.
Like, it's like Crystal. Like, real quick, like Crystal is those type of channels. A little bit more entertaining and bigger. Like, why is that? Why is that a bad thing? I don't understand. I don't get it at all. So if someone wants to comment below who might know why Chris Sewell is not in there, let us know, please. I mean, I don't think you're stepping out on a ledge here, Mike. I think the three of us agree. It's kind of ridiculous that Chris Sewell is not in there. We haven't talked about our boy Dustin at all. We do love you, Dustin, but we kind of get why you're not in there. Chris Sewell. His
name's not Dustin. He's Mr. Gold Prizm.
Mr. Gold Prizm.
Yes, please refer to him as Mr. Gold Prizm.
Sorry for cutting you off there, EP.
Also, I was just going to say the same thing, that I feel like his videos should appeal to that same crowd. So that's why it is so flummoxing. I have just no idea why. Why he's not.
All right. Well, we ranted enough about it and probably made enough people mad about it that, well, probably not that many. But anyway, so Joe, what's new and exciting?
Well, as our friend, the sports card dad, does call it, I was at.
You mean Mr. Gold Prizm?
Mr. Gold Prizm. Stop! I'm not going to remember that.
You will by the end of the show.
God, I hope not. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, though, Mike. So
it is.
So anyway, as Mr. Gold Prizm refers to it, the Disneyland of the hobby of sports cards. I was on ComC this past week. And I think I texted you guys like 20 times, like, I really shouldn't be buying all these cards. Like, I just kept going. I'm like, oh, maybe I can complete this set. I ended up putting like almost 200 cards into my ComC cart. And I remember sending a picture. I'm like, I need to stop now. And Mike's like, I see no problem with what you're doing. And I'm like, I was buying Rick and Morty cards. I was buying Star Trek cards. I was buying football cards. I was buying inserts. I was buying base cards to complete sets. It was so much cheaper than going on eBay. It was just like crazy. Like base cards for sets I want to complete, like for 65 cents. You go on eBay, they're 99 cents plus 99-cent shipping, which is still a good deal if you only need one. But if you need a bunch, and it was, I was there. I could have been there for days. I could have literally just went through and was like, okay, this, and this. I had to stop myself. It was absolutely crazy. ComC, amazing.
And we're not even paid to bring.
We're not even paid. Video sponsor ComC is not something we say.
Never.
But yeah, it was a fun time. But I probably won't get my cards for what, like 6 months, EP? You've ordered.
Oh, actually, it was not 6 months, but I think probably a month. Like it takes a little while. You have to think about the size of their warehouse. Like that's massive amounts of cards and everything. And for them to pull an order that you probably have a wide variety of stuff. And I'm sure that their category system or their cataloging system is great, but the inventory's got to be all out of
It's
the.
like Mike pulling cards
Joe,
for a stack sale. It's just
tell me
slightly
by
quicker.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I need it by Wednesday, pal. You better get them here to me by Wednesday.
So what's new and exciting with you, EP?
Well, I did. I've been listing a bunch of cards on eBay, more so, and trying to pump that up. I'm over 1,000, like I said last week.
Good
but
job.
I haven't really talked about Card Dealer Pro 2.0, the new version that came out, and how much better it is for me. Anyway, I'm not sure. Maybe I wasn't using the other one correctly, but the new one, when a card doesn't match up, previously when the card didn't match up, there's a bunch of like hoops I had to jump through, and then I had to type everything in. But now, with the way the new setup is, there are different things in there where I can go in and type something in, and it'll actually pull up some options, and I'll be able to click on that and say, oh, this is the correct one, and it'll pop up, and just it makes it so much. It's already a fast system, but that is just the little bit of hassle that was the biggest hassle with that system, and now it's kind of like fixed with this 2.0, and it also seems like it finds a lot more like right away. So it seems like it's a really great upgrade for Card Dealer Pro.
Oh, great! You'll have 100,000 in no time.
That's probably not. That's a lot.
No.
That takes a little while.
Oh, okay. I thought so. Well, I mean, I went to a card show yesterday, EP. It was a lot of fun. Let me just say, our buddy Card Show Kevin, he runs a fantastic card show. Like, honestly, probably the best run card show, I think. No, the best run event I have ever gone to. Like, people are going to the Super Bowl and all the glitz and glamour. Like, this card show had all that tenfold. It was incredible. Like, all the greeters that were there, the red carpet when we walked in, it was fantastic. Card Show Kevin, the best card show promoter in the universe. But
you had your own spot right at my table.
I did.
I
had my own special.
There was like a sign right there. Yeah.
So happy. And I got to watch one of the members here do the card show in person. That guy right down there. And I have some observations for you, as my dogs are even excited about this. You can hear that.
They heard my name. They're
yes.
for EP. Yeah.
EP is a terrible card show dealer. Now, we all love EP. I'm not trying to say this in a mean-spirited kind of way. EP's problem is he loves the cards he has too much. So it makes it really difficult for him to be able to make deals. I witnessed firsthand one of our former Mike's Upper Deck card shop customers, Mike Jones, was there hanging out. He brought about 150 Ken Griffey Jr. cards. And EP wanted these cards so badly. He didn't want to put the cash out for it. He's like, I could see it. Like the stress in his face was like, it made my heart hurt. Like he just wanted them so bad. And Mike was like, well, I like the barter. Do you have something here? Like these are just, he collected Cal Ripken cards. So these were all Ken Griffey Jr. cards he accumulated back in the shop and stuff from buying cards to get Cal Ripken. And he didn't really care a whole lot about them. Like he knew they had value, but he wanted to trade for something he wanted. And EP had a Kobe Bryant Fleer Ultra rookie in his display case. Mike was like, well, I'm interested in that. Well, before the show, EP told me, well, I priced it kind of high because I really don't want to get rid of it. I'm like, but dude, you're setting up at a card show. Like the whole point is to get rid of the cards. If you could have seen the stress that this guy down there put himself under for an hour plus, I'm not even joking. That is not an exaggeration. I walked around, looked at other tables. I came back. He was still standing there, stressed out of his mind about this potential offer, not knowing what to offer Mike because he didn't want to offend Mike with the offer he gave him. They're like, well, what do you think? I'm like, well, I looked through these cards. I'm like, well, honestly, Mike, if I were buying these from you, I would probably say I'd give you $75 for them, which just happened to be the price that EP had on the card. And I didn't do that like to set it up or anything. That's what I would pay, probably about 50 cents a card. There were some cards in there a couple dollars, and some that were probably 50 cent or less cards. And I was like, I would just, if that were my card, I would offer that to you for those. And EP then took like another 15 minutes before he like very sheepishly made the offer to Mike, because he was like, well, would you do all of them? Like just like, dude, you're here to get rid of cards. Like, but he loves them too much that he really wanted these cards, but he really didn't want to give up that card. And that like strife, the stress he put himself under was like remarkable to watch. So EP is not great at being at a card show because he loves the cards way too much.
It was such a relief.
Before EP responds, I just want to throw this in. So Mike Jones had messaged me that yesterday. He tried to video call me.
Yeah, he did.
I was out to lunch. He messages me, and this is all he put. I'm making EP frown. That is all he put.
He was.
And then he sent me a picture of the Kobe card. And I said, I asked him if he goes traded for, I won't read the rest, but because you'll probably talk about it. But I go, you got the Kobe. He goes, yep. And I asked him what he traded, and he told me Griffey cards. But what's hysterical about the whole thing is the backstory to that one sentence where I'm making EP frown is perfect. I mean, that is so true. Like Mike Jones had it in one sentence what Mike Lutz just said just now, because I guarantee you just the look on EP's face. It's like when two people were trying to make a fantasy football trade back in the day. Remember that, Mike, in the shop? It was like worse. Hours.
This was way worse. Yeah, I was like about ready to cry watching EP be about ready to cry. Like he was like, I don't even know. You were sleep deprived to begin with, EP, but yes. Like I don't even know if you know how much you were like stressing over.
Oh no, I 100%. Whenever anybody would walk up to the table like at that point and start looking at my stuff or talking about my stuff, it was such a relief to not have to look at Mike and to look at those cards and to think about that situation, just to have them come up and talk and have that interaction instead of the pain that I was going through. Yes, I guilty. I love cards. They're great. They're amazing. So
that is a true collector down there that he just I don't know why you put it in your case. Why did you do
it? Because I have my Kobe. I have my premium, my Skybox premium PSA 9 for my Hall of Fame collection. I don't need to have, I can't keep every card. I can't keep every card. And that if I was able to, if I could sell that card, then it could help me buy other cards and that sort of stuff. And essentially that's what happened. And there's a lot of, the thing is when Mike brought that thing and he waved at me, he held up a bag. I was like, he's got cards in there for me and he's going to want, and I'm like, this is going to be terrible. And then when he opened it up and it was all Griffies, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And they were all like, and there are a lot of, like you said, Mike, there are a lot of Griffies in there that I didn't even recognize and ones that are really, really cool, even though they're only, like you said, they're only like about $5 or whatever. Still, it was the most stressed. It was by far the most stressed. I've been operating on like 3 hours sleep a night for like 4 or 5 days in a row. And so like that ramps up stress a little bit. But I don't normally get, but that was by far the most stressed I felt in a very long time at a freaking card show where I'm supposed to be having fun and, doing all the stuff. I was like, it was so painful. It was the most painful experience of 2020. I'd not say 2024, the most painful experience the last couple weeks, let's say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a sight to behold. But let me tell you, at least you're not under as much stress as CGC, because this week their social media proudly flaunted and flexed their first ever 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card that received a grade of Gem Mint 10. Let's hear it for CGC, right? Okay, let's pull one out for him, because the problem is, in showing it, people noticed right away the upper right-hand corner and edge, like there was a lot of white on it. There was like rough edge. There was even a little bit of tick of white, I believe, in the top left corner.
Yeah, there was.
So what was meant as a flex really turned into a situation for CGC because they got hammered, rightfully so. I mean, come on, like somebody there, like I don't know. First of all, I don't know how it got that grade. Like, who's grading this card a 10? And then nobody in the process between taking the picture, like they had a video of it spinning around, everything.
So much effort was put into it. So much
presentation, and nobody said, "Do you see that corner? Maybe we better not do this." Like, what's going on?
It's been a rough 2024 for CGC, man.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. They're going to sue that grader. They're suing everyone else that works for them. Why not?
That's the comment of the week right there.
So I made the obvious joke. Oh, that'd be a PSA 11 because PSA is terrible. And a lot of people made that joke, I'm sure. I don't even think PSA could miss this one. I mean, PSA is terrible, but I don't think they could miss this one. Like, we've talked a lot about when you put cards underneath, a magnifying glass and look at them, and you're really, really digging deep to try and find any sort of flaw. And a lot of the time we want to say, and SGC does this a little bit, they step back and say, we kind of grade, we look at it, but we also grade on eye appeal. Because I think that's an important thing when you're grading a card. This didn't even have eye appeal, man. Like, if someone looked at it and it's like, well, there's a surface scratch on it, and that should drop it down to a 9. And then, but you look at it and you're like, no, the eye appeal of this is great. The eye appeal of this card was terrible. Like, you could see the white, and maybe it's because they had such a high def camera on it. We saw everything as it was
really bright lighting. Yeah,
really bright lighting.
Great presentation.
I'm really curious on how it looks in hand, because it's a rough card to look at. It's probably, what do you think, an 8, 8.5, maybe?
No better than an 8. Yeah, maybe 8.5, but I'd say an 8, maybe even a 7.
Yeah, I was thinking
if that other corner, like I couldn't really tell the upper left corner, but because the way it was spinning, it was harder to get a good look. It looked like there was some white on that, but I couldn't tell it was just like the light or something. But the right corner clearly wasn't the light.
And you said this is the first one that they've ever graded a 10, right?
I think that's what it said, yeah.
Can you imagine being the guy who got a 9.5 on one and is looking at this going, what the hell?
Yeah.
How did mine get a 9.5 and that horse shit got a 10? How is that possible?
Yeah, definitely.
There's so much to unpack here. Like that somebody in that room when they were reviewing that video before they posted it, they're like, "Oh God, look at that top right corner. We need to stop."
Do you think though, or did they all just miss it? Like, I would hope that somebody didn't see it and they posted it anyway. That would be even worse, right?
Yeah,
although the social media person probably has no say over it. Like, they're just like, do it, and like, okay, I'm making $15 an hour. I'll do whatever you say.
Yeah.
I made the joke. Maybe they're trying to like easy CGC 10s. Like, come here and get a 10.
Subliminally saying to people, look, we'll give you 10s for anything at this point. Right. We're getting our asses kicked in the news, but I mean. I really think when we've said this so many times, that once a card is slabbed, no one looks at the slab or the card anymore. They just look at the flip, they look at the label, and it's like, maybe that's what CGC did. They're like, oh, it's a 10, and then they put the label on it. It's like, okay, we no longer have to look at the card. That because people who are investing that card, maybe not that one specifically, but let's say it didn't get into social media, right? Let's just say it got sent back to the person. That person sees it got a 10. They'll list it on eBay as a 10, and it would sell as a 10 because no one looks at the card anymore. They look at the label.
You have to give the hobby a little bit of credit on this one because they did actually look at the card. Now, some of it's just because
they made a production
PSA.
out of it.
Yeah,
they made a production out of it.
Do you think somebody in that room said, "Why don't we make it spin the other way"?
They
should have just said, let's try spinning the other way. Look at that the top right side.
Like, what would you do though if you bought that card and it came to you and it looked like that, but it was slabbed to 10? Like what do you do?
Well, that's what Elite 3. That's what he does. Like, this card is not a 10, and he sells it. And he doesn't. That's not a keeper for him. I think that's what he does a lot of times. He said,
but like, what if you purchased that from like on eBay.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, great, a CGC 10, and maybe you didn't see that in the picture, or you just hopped on it or what, and then that came in the mail like that, and you have a slabbed card that says Gem Mint, but you can, like, what do you do? Like, do you have any recourse? Like, I don't even know what you can do.
I put it back on eBay and sell it. I let someone else hold the bag. If I'm being completely honest, because you do have no recourse. What are you going to do? Hey, CGC, this isn't a 10. Okay, send it back. We'll regrade it. How much money did you just lose? Right?
Oh, yeah.
As the buyer, the seller isn't doing anything wrong. He sent it off, unless there's some shenanigans, which there haven't been. But with CGC, who knows?
Yeah,
so unless there was
Oh,
some sort of shenanigans where someone slipped a lesser card in and just got a label, I mean, you know, what do you do?
Well,
could you?
We have a lawsuit where their comic book side, there was somebody there that was a grader that got grades he didn't like and slipped in other ones. I mean, this is the problem with all that other stuff we talked about, though. Now you see a card like this, and because they had somebody they had to sue that was faking the labels on their comic side, you automatically have to go, is there somebody doing that on the card side? Yep. It's a fair question. And this is the uphill battle this company now has. Like, honestly, I don't know that CGC is going to be long for the world, especially grading cards. I like all that other stuff. Then you see this, you have to wonder, it's a fair question. Is there something, some hanky panky going on with the grading of cards?
Could you imagine if that happened with this card, and that ended up with all the presentation, all like everything they did? Like, could you imagine if that's what happened with this card? I mean, that was my reaction, because I just had that.
Imagine being the guy who hypothetically did this too, but like, oh crap, no, don't put it on Twitter.
Why are you putting this on social media?
I knew I should have put a 9.5 on it. Oh, like,
right. That's what I get for getting greedy. That's what happens when you get greedy. You would have done just fine with a 9.5.
That's even another thing too, though. They have a 9.5, and that's still in a 10. Like, I don't know. It seems fishy.
That's why I said I made the joke about the guy who got an actual 9.5 and he's looking at this card getting pissed off about it, rightfully so. I mean, nothing has come out that says fishy. I was just kind of making a joke because of the comic book stuff. But again, you never know. Maybe that did bleed over into the card side. Didn't you say the person who was doing the shenanigans with the comic books, his wife was in charge of authentication of cards, and
she was receiving. She was receiving. Yeah, she got the cards and took them to the people.
She still had her hand on cards, so you never know what you know. Honestly, so I don't know. It's just, you're right, Mike. This is kind of that battle that CGC is going to have to really, really fight, and whoever is in charge of their social media, who's ever in charge of like making that decision to put that card on social media, must think their 2024 was going great before that, because I can't imagine, like, you need to be perfect after the stuff that's come out. You need to be perfect. So if they really think that's a 10, that goes to show grading is very subjective. You can't say otherwise,
right? It's all
wizardry, as Ziggy would say. Yes.
Well, it is definitely bad for business. And something else that is bad for business is when you have a card shop and you take pre-orders for cards that are coming out, and then you decide to shut down and tell people that, oh, well, you're not going to get your cards or your money back. Unfortunately, there was a card shop called Clutch Cards. They are apparently going out of business, and they took a bunch of pre-orders for upcoming product, and they informed people that they would not be fulfilling them, nor would they be able to refund them. Now, this isn't really a commentary on this specific shop or situation, but just in general, like I said to you guys beforehand, this is a declining market. You have a lot of card shops that have a lot of money put into this expensive new wax, the product coming out. If you're doing pre-orders, like, you really need to do your homework and maybe buy from an established place. I hate to just pump up the bigger places, but I think there's less fear if you're ordering from Breakout Cards or something like, or Blowout Cards, like, to order this than some little shop somewhere. Like, it just, first, like, imagine that. Like you have maybe a couple cases of something ordered, and they're like, "Oh, sorry." And we've seen it. We've seen it with like the PSA submitters that have done this to people, and now we're seeing it with this. Like, just you need to be so careful anymore, right?
Mike, you're making me very nervous because I literally just pre-ordered 2 cases of cards. So
where'd you pre-order them from?
Where do you pre-order from?
Clutch card. No.
That would be so funny. Oh, the irony.
Breaking news.
You're like, wait, what was the name of that? What was the name of that shop again?
No, I pre-ordered them from David Adams, and I'm sorry, you're right, Mike. I mean, I feel safer doing that. Steel City, I would feel safer with, because they are kind of known in the hobby again. But that doesn't matter. Like,
no, it doesn't. Yeah,
because over the last few years, they've been, a massive place for people to go and buy cards. But the hobby is way different than it was 5 years ago, right? 6 years ago. 2 years ago. I mean, the hobby is 3 very, very different. So it still made me nervous to the point where I didn't put a full deposit down. I put 10%. I put whatever the minimum was to get free shipping or whatever. I put like 10% down. And that way, if something like this would happen, which again, with David Adams, you don't really worry about it, but I'm a nervous Nelly, right? I always kind of worry until it's in hand.
Especially now. Yeah.
Yeah. So luckily, if something like that would happen with David Adams, I have that money, but I only put in the 10%, but still, it's like $500 total between the 2 cases. So it's not nothing, know? So yeah, there's got to be, to this specific point, there's got to be like, they must have put something in like the pre-order contract that says, if we go out of business, you're hosed, because I don't know how this is legal.
Yeah, there's no.
It wouldn't be.
I feel the customers are going to get some sort of compensation for it, right, through like the government or something, right? There's got to be something that can.
I mean, if they don't have any money, like how you going to get money from them? Like it feels illegal. You remember that Drew's Cards from Twitter that was doing the same thing on there, and he's in federal prison now. So I don't know. I mean, it definitely isn't legal to take people's money for something, but I don't know if they had any kind of weird terms that people didn't see. I don't know if it makes a difference. I'm not a lawyer. I don't even play one on my YouTube channel. So, but yeah, scary situation.
It's definitely weird. Like you would like to think that a company you would think that they would probably know things were going bad. And so maybe we need to stop taking pre-orders. Like, you know what? Like we shouldn't be taking.
No, that was the only thing keeping them afloat, though.
Yeah, they were taking the pre-orders to pay for this stuff they had to pay for, unfortunately. And that's usually what happens. That's what happened with Mark's cards with the PSA submissions and stuff like that. They weren't taking people's money and putting it in escrow. They were using that to pay current bills, which you shouldn't be doing, but it's what they were doing.
Right.
It's crazy. But be vigilant. We say this a lot, specifically about like buying on eBay or buying from someone on Twitter or whatever. You have to be a vigilant buyer. Like there's so many ways. And this wasn't a straight up scam, because at the time, I don't think Clutch Cards or whatever was thinking we're just going to do a bunch of fake pre-orders.
No, they just got in financial trouble. Yeah.
But there are so many people out there that try to scam people, or so many situations like this where the market changes so quick anymore that you just have to be, as a buyer, you have to be vigilant about what you're doing. Go to a David Adams, go to a Steel City, go to a Blowout or whatever. I mean, it sucks, but I mean, save yourself, right? Yeah, I mean, try and save yourself from losing a bunch of money.
Yeah, you could probably. Guessing a lot of the smaller sellers probably sell for a little bit less, like $5 less, or something like that per box, $10 less per box, on like the lower end stuff, like boxes or whatever. But like that's the $5 fees you pay for the safety of these established companies that have been doing it since back in 2012 when I was breaking stuff. Then probably even before that. So,
well, one company you probably won't have to worry about pre-ordering from is Fanatics. And EP, Top Series 1 been released. Fanatics is going to be offering exclusive blaster boxes that have potential for autographed memorabilia redemption cards. They showed a picture of an Adley Richmond autographed baseball. So you'll be able to pull a redemption card out, send it in, and get an actual piece of autographed memorabilia. Not sure if this is fact or not, but somebody said they're like 1 in 240 blasters, which seems like quite a bit, although really not probably in the big picture, but still pretty cool idea, right?
Very cool. That's again, 1 in 240 does like kind of makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even more than that, because they're probably going to make so many blasters. Like, you know, the number of packs they're going to have out there is going to be, you know, outrageous, because it is Series 1. Like, that's kind of how it works. It's a flagship, and so I could totally see that it being like a ridiculous pull. Still a very, very cool chase though, and you know they've added a couple big time chases in this year's 2024 Topps. They got the cut autos of some great players too. So I think they're just trying to add a little bit of juice to you know their lowest end product. I'm for it. I think it's exciting.
Joe, you're a big baseball buyer.
I am. Though I'm confused, Mike. Did you misspeak? You said they're redemptions.
Well, you can't put a.
I don't know that you
can
fit an autographed baseball in a pack.
It's only actual baseballs.
Not cards. It's memorabilia. I think. I don't know if they're all baseballs. I don't know if they have like jerseys.
Okay, I'm okay with that then. I'm okay. Yeah. It's like the puppy thing. You can't put a live
the puppies. Yeah, we talked about this, Joe.
Yeah,
can't have a live puppy in a pack.
No live puppies in the packs. If I'll give them a pass then for their "we're never going to do redemptions ever again" statements. And if it's an actual game used baseball or something that's autographed, then yes, that's very cool. 240 blasters. How many packs are usually in a blaster? Isn't it like 5 or something like that?
For Topps Series 1, I think it's a little bit more than that. They used to think
7 or 8.
Blasters they have a pretty good amount of cards.
Yeah, I mean, but still, it's probably cheaper to buy a case of that than it would be buy a case of the actual Topps, right?
The hobby, it's probably cheaper to buy a box. I mean, maybe in the secondary market because of this promotion,
true.
Maybe it
turns into people beating each other up at Target.
Right.
They won't be able to get them at Target because they're Fanatics exclusive.
They're Fanatics exclusive. Okay, that's good then.
I mean, it's a cool idea. Like, they're adding value to, like, the blasters don't have all the stuff the hobby boxes have in it, so they're doing a little something to add some value to it and selling them directly through the Fanatics website. There's a shocker, but I mean, it gives people another option, and I think it's pretty cool. Like, I don't know that people are going to be buying them expecting to pull those out of it, but if you're going to buy some, why not buy them from Fanatics to have the chance of it instead of going to Walmart to get it? So,
and having people weigh them at Walmart and figuring out how much the redemption ones weigh less or something like that, because people are terrible.
Well, speaking of blasters, in a why didn't they do this 5 years ago move, Panini announced that they're going to have hobby exclusive blasters and megas going forward. I mean, this is a great idea. I know I've mentioned this somewhere way back when. Like, I think we have talked about that. Like, why not have this type of product available for shops to sell, so they have something at a lower price point that people don't have to go to Walmart. You can help the shops out. But like, we're getting to the end of the road here with Panini. Like, yeah, good idea, but like, I don't know. You should have done it a long time ago.
I'm surprised they didn't do it a long time ago, because they can just print more cards. Like, why wouldn't they do everything they can to put boxes anywhere they can put boxes and packs and stuff like that? I am pretty surprised they can do it. Is this a situation where you can open it up and actually sell it as packs? Or is this something that you'd have to come in and buy? Like, do card shops even do that anymore? Like, I get so bummed out.
Yeah, some do. Yeah.
And it's very rare you can actually see actual packs being for sale. But
just packs cost like $80 and $90.
$80, $90.
Right.
A little different.
Right. Crazy.
I feel at this point, why at this point, why even bother having the retail and hobby? Like, they're just call them blasters and just release. I mean, because there are a lot of blasters that are already like super expensive on the shelves at retail stores. So I feel like It's, I mean, I realize that the difference will be that there's a little bit better stuff maybe in the hobby blasters and megas, but at this point, why even bother with calling
it's
them
going to
retail
have
or hobby?
different
Parallel.
stuff, not necessarily better, but I mean, yeah, let's call it what it is. This is another way to print more, to come out with more parallels, to try to make it seem like they're not printing more. But now you have hobby, you have retail, and now you have hobby, mega, and blasters. Like, you just increased your print run. How the best way to hide it so you don't have, like, you know, all the store shelves at Walmart and Target just cluttered with your stuff? Well, you know, we could probably make, you know, another 25% of this and throw it to hobby shops and people won't know. So again, it's just another shell game. They're hiding what they're doing, and they're trying to make it seem like a good thing, but they're just printing more.
That's what I said. That's what I said at the top of this. That's what I like. Why haven't they done this for 5 years? Not for any benefit to collectors, but they could have snuck in so many more cards and printed so many more cards, and people would have been cool with it. People would have been fine. People are going to buy it, right? Is anyone going to look at this and say, "Oh, they're trying to trick us with more"? No, they're going to buy it. They're going to go into a hobby store and they're going to be like, "Oh, I should buy some of these." Then they'll swing by Walmart on the way home. Oh, I should buy some from here too, because I could get whatever parallel and sell it for $1,000. You know, it's just they know their audience.
It's all an algorithm,
they haven't
Joe.
done this for a while.
They have an algorithm they built years ago that is predicated on how many parallel sets they have. And now in 2024, the number of parallel sets they have finally kicked into the algorithm that it spit out that, oh, okay, now we have to throw these in the hobby stores too, or else we won't be able to find a place to put all the cards. And if you want to hear more about that, make sure you watch our Wednesday show this week, because the Wednesday show, we're going to be talking about 2023-2024 Prizm, and we're going to be talking about all the parallels. We're going to be talking about the price of it, just the fact that retail came out before hobby, like just all kinds of talk about it this week. So if you're interested, make sure you watch that. Everybody agreed? We'll be there. Yes. I'll be there. You guys going to be there?
Yeah,
I'll show up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
awesome. All right. Well, you know, we rarely like to pat ourselves on the back here. But
go back to episode 1.
This week we have to finally do it. Give ourselves a little bit of congratulation, because it appears to me that since we finally crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark, PSA is now going to listen to what we do. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about, you know, the cards that people were making custom cards and getting autographs put on it, and PSA slapping them in a Gem Mint 10 on the autograph label, but it was a fake card, but it was in a red label, and how it's very confusing to people that they see that it looks like all their other PSA cards. They don't realize they're only grading the autograph and not the card. We're like, why don't they have a different color? They used to always use the blue, right? Why are they not doing that? Well, apparently Nat Turner was like, you know what? Those guys make a lot of sense. You know, guys, they want us to go back to the blue. Go back to the blue. Done.
Yep.
So, yes, PSA announced that they're going to start putting those cards back in the blue holder. I mean, we're joking, obviously, about us having the influence on them, but this is the right move. And I'm so happy that that company grading that many cards, that many autographs, noticed that there was a problem, and they're like, you know what, we know you like to have all your matching cases, but for the hobby's sake, this is better to separate these because people are getting confused. Good job, PSA. What do you think, Joe? You're a big PSA fan.
Huge. Well, talk about things. I mean, if we're going to say it about Panini, let's say about PSA. Talk about things they should have done 5 years ago, or should have not stopped doing 5 years ago.
Like, that was the point.
Like, I don't understand why they switched it. The label is the exact same. It's just a different color. CGC does it with their comic books. I'll give them a little bit of props. You know, if a comic book has been altered, or if a comic book is missing something, they have different colored labels.
Well, they're supposed to end up in those.
Okay.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, PSA should be doing this. People are getting tricked. Again, people need to read. People need to be vigilant buyers. But still, let's not make it easier for the scammers to scam. And I think this is a way to do that. I hope it'd be nice if they then offered like a reholder program for people who did want to convert theirs over. I doubt they will, but I think it would try and get some of those red labels out of circulation. But yeah, they shouldn't have switched. I don't know why they did, but I'm glad they finally figured out this is better. This is way better for the hobby and for collectors.
Yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. I mean, the bottom line is like this: if you're looking at one of these slabs, you know immediately this is not something that's not right about this. This is not a regular PSA slab, and so that's the kind of thing they need to do with these, because you need to stop and say this is not a real card. Like that. So that is what this label will do, and I think it's again, like both of you said, this is overdue, and they should have not stopped doing it in the first place. But I'm glad they listened, and now they're going to do it again. It shouldn't have taken obviously what's going on right now to get this to happen, but I'm glad it's happening, because this makes it glaringly obvious that this card is not a legit card, or there's something not right about this card, and yeah, it's good for all hobbyists, I think.
The reason we started talking about this topic, or the reason we talked about this topic, was because of a video Crystal put out. Crystal, not in the YouTube Content Hall of Fame, whatever. By the way, we joked about us being the influencers. Would it shock you if his 65,000 subscriber base saw that video and was like, yeah, why doesn't PSA do that anymore?
No.
Maybe even someone from PSA saw it. I mean, it's almost as if someone like that should, I don't know, be Hall of Fame worthy. But hey, what do we know? We're just three schlubs.
Wow. Now I'm disappointed, because what you said made a lot more sense than what I said. And that hurts on many levels. But yeah, I'm not trying to defend PSA here, but I do think that like the fake custom cards and stuff have gotten so much better over the years. Like, I don't know where we were at in that progression when they changed the label, so I don't know for sure, but maybe it's because at that point there weren't as many of these cards being made as well as they are. Because you look like the ones he had in Chris's video, like they look like legitimate cards. If you didn't know they weren't, they look like a real card. So maybe it's just because that has progressed so far. I could be totally wrong. Maybe they've been doing that for years. I just don't realize it, but that could be part of the reason. But one of the things I did think was that blue label looks so much better than the red label.
The blue.
It does.
I like the blue better.
I mean, if PSA had blue labels for their cards, I would send stuff into them. Okay. Anyway, well, you won't have to worry about sending certain cards into PSA if you take part in the BackYard Breaks PSA special live break of the 2023-2024 Prizm basketball from the New Jersey facility, by the way. This will be taking place on February 14th and 15th, and every black finite, every black and gold, every true gold, and every single Victor Wembanyama card that is pulled will be taken, given to the graders on the spot, and graded within 24 hours. And Grant said himself, no upcharge for this. So apparently the grading of those cards is built into the price. It's going to be on Whatnot. I don't come out here to promote BackYard Breaks, but like, if I were somebody who wanted to break Prizm basketball and I could stand listening to them, this would maybe be a fun thing to do. I don't know. Did I just say that out loud?
Well, I'll tell you
feels
this.
Yucky.
I'll tell you this, Mike. If you bought into that break on Valentine's Day, your wife would leave you. So, yes, anyone who buys into that break on Valentine's Day, you will be alone for the rest of your lives. But
they probably already realized that.
They probably realized that. Yeah. So good for them for being at least self-aware. Yeah. When you get three luminaries together, like BackYard Breaks, PSA, and Panini, I mean, come on. What better combo could you potentially have in the hobby to be an absolute train wreck? I think this is going to be wonderful. I cannot wait till those super off-centered Wembanyama cards come back sevens. It's going to be spectacular. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to watch it. I don't like basketball. If they did something with football, probably wouldn't watch it either because I'd have to put it on mute. I can't deal with those people. If people like backyard breaks, that's fine. Have at it. Not my cup of tea.
We aren't the target market.
We are not the
No.
target market for backyard breaks.
I'm a big basketball fan, and I actually got a Prizm blaster box a couple weeks ago, and I do like Prizm basketball, but I don't do breaks. I don't like breaks. I don't like watching breaks, so I won't be watching.
I didn't know that.
That said, this is a huge win in my opinion for backyard breaks and whatnot, and Panini and PSA, right? Because there, I mean, the backyard breaks has a huge following. There are a lot of people that like them, and PSA is going to be able to slab these cards with this thing, and the Panini is going to get a lot of publicity for their product too. So I feel like it's a huge win for all those companies that are involved. It's not for any of the three of us, but I feel like it's as far as like marketing is concerned, and like growing their hobby presence. I think it's huge for all the people involved there.
And I mean, that's a pretty nice selection of cards too. Obviously, the black finite 1/1s, you may not hit too many, but like the true golds and stuff, like to be able to buy in, and obviously the Wembanyama's, that is going to be funny because I think it would be really cool to get the one that is like totally miscut, and they're going to slab that and give it to me as a one. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. I find it interesting that they're grading them in the New Jersey office. Like, I just set an order in a couple weeks ago. Everything we're sending here in Pennsylvania is still going to California. Like, I wonder, is this going to change at some point? Or
that'd be awesome.
I wonder if they're ever going to get to a point where, like, where you send it is based on where you live. Like,
It should be. I wouldn't understand why it's not.
Right. Yeah.
Save shipping both ways,
Yeah. So I don't know, I don't know how far along that facility is, but obviously they're capable of grading. So hopefully that'll be something that comes up in the near future.
They should also use it for authentication. They should, same thing with eBay authentication. If you're gonna, if you have I sold a card on eBay and the buyer was in Pennsylvania. I had to fly. I had to send it all the way out to California, and then they had to send it all the way back. It'd be great if the New Jersey office did that too. Maybe this is like the soft opening. You know what I mean? The soft grand opening, and then they'll really start pumping cards out of there. I really don't know how far along it is.
I wonder how many cases Backyard Breaks is getting a Prizm, and what, like, how much is going to be going? How much they're going to break during this period?
How many case hits are they going to get? How many product hits are they going to get? Is the real question.
The real question is yes or no. If you're betting, does the Victor Wembanyama Black Finite 1/1 get pulled in one of these breaks from them?
Yes,
I would take that bet. I think it's probably 50-50, but I would take that bet. Yeah.
And it's crazy that it's even 50-50. It's crazy that it's even 50-50 and you're like on the low end. Oh, it's 50-50. I mean, yeah, that's pretty nuts considering how much of this product there is out there. They're not getting 50% of the cases, but we think, oh, there's a coin flip chance that they may pull that 1/1 Victor Wembanyama.
That would be fantastic.
It would be
fantastic. Think of the content. There would be 8,000 videos on YouTube within 24 hours.
Maybe they're going to make sure that it's not there then, right? Like maybe they say,
I don't know.
We got to make sure we don't send it to.
Yeah, but if they make sure they do, they're going to get all that free publicity about it. So
that's true.
I don't know. Like, Joe, you're wrong though, because like I can take part on the 15th.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
They're smart. They have the people that may not have a Valentine on the 14th, and they can have their day, and then the rest of us normal people,
backyard breaks.
Yeah, the rest of us then on the 15th can buy in. So
yeah,
I could buy in on the 15th and be there. I might just do that. I should do it for content for the channel, don't you think?
And record it. People do that all the time. They record like them watching their break.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that is
I
the
don't
thing.
think anybody wants to see me watching backyard break.
I've seen.
Let
some
me know in the
weird people
comments
do it.
though. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe they do, but
Wait, how much is it a spot?
How many?
I have no idea. Probably a lot more money than I really want to pay. But hey, if it's content, you never know. I might do it.
Such an Inception thing. How many people are actually watching people watch their break? Well, how many views those videos get? They can't be a lot, right?
Oh
Like,
no!
what are you doing with your time? I'm sorry,
dude. People watch people playing Madden on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
but they
Like,
actually see
people
footage of the
watch
game.
anything.
Like, but I mean, I'm
But no.
I guess.
You'll the breaking will be.
I
on
could
the
have a
screen.
big screen of the break and then
Yes.
me in a little box
That's
reacting to it.
That's how people do it. So they actually have the cards on. You see the break EP.
Maybe it's
Your
'cause I
mind
just like
is
breaks so much,
blown right now.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah, I
mind is
can't.
blown.
I can't handle it.
So
This
yeah,
is the
do that,
world we
Mike.
live in.
Do that.
Let me know. Let me know if you want to see that. I probably won't do it anyway, but that would be a lot of fun. But hey, that's all I have for you this week, guys. Everybody done? Anybody have anything
Oh,
else?
wait.
they
One
need to know?
last thing. One last
Okay,
thing.
go ahead.
We failed to talk about the big game last night.
Oh wow!
Because as you know,
Wasn't that something?
we do record this live, obviously,
Yeah.
on Monday mornings at 7 a.m. And yeah, the big game last night. There was throwing.
Mhm.
I think there was catching. There was some.
How about that
rushing.
touchdown?
The touchdown was
really cool.
awesome. I think there was
And
some
that one play was not a penalty.
Mhm.
There-
yeah, I don't think so either. That's
typical refs handing it to him again. Like wow.
again.
It was also a
Again.
huge win for the new GOAT. You know,
Yeah,
huge
win for the
new GOAT.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed myself, and those commercials were fantastic.
Oh, some of the best
so
this
funny.
year.
They're-
Yeah, I had
they're
a lot
so
of-
good that I
Doritos.
can't
Oh my
even-
gosh!
I can't even pick a favorite. There were so many really
Yeah, I'm
good
not going to
ones.
pin myself down to one commercial, Mike.
Oh.
Come on. I mean,
And-
it was great, but congratulations to the insert team name here and how they did such a great job winning a Super Bowl. So
And
good
that
job.
halftime show was just mind blowing.
There was a
Wow.
singer, I think.
Yeah,
Who
Fantastic.
sang songs. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
great
So-
stuff. I won a lot of money betting too.
Did you? Yeah, good for
Did
you,
not-
man.
yeah,
Good for
I
you.
am.
I figured you.
'Cause
I figured
I'm a
you
big
put some money
better.
out
Yeah,
there.
you know.
Yeah.
I like those same game parlays. So
Oh yeah.
Amy's a big
Great,
fan
gotcha.
of that actually. So she was the one pushing me to. Bet.
She was pushing
like,
you to
We need
bet
to bet. We need to bet. She's like, I have a good feeling about this, and she was right. So we won a lot of money. There we go.
There you
Congrats,
go.
man! Congrats.
That's where you
Thank you.
can buy into that break on February 15th.
That's true. Except I have to give her half the money. Who am I kidding? I have to give her all the
She's
money.
a big breaker now.
She is.
Yeah,
that's
true.
true.
Breaker. Yeah.
Like she's probably already has her spot, so I might not have to do it.
You
She
guys
probably
might
already
be
bought
spending
it.
Valentine's Day with the guys over
She's
at
like,
Backyard Breaks.
I don't want to go out for dinner. Are you kidding me? Backyard Breaks is doing a Prizm break from PSA.
If your wife ever said that to you, you know it's about that time to just end it. We're done. We're done.
All right. Well, I think that's probably a good place to end it. That was a pretty good chat this week, and I will see you next week. Take care.
See you, boys.
Adios.